It was referred to as Black Christmas, in which 238 Christians were killed and more than 300 injured as hundreds of armed militant Fulani Muslims attacked 40 majority Christian villages in Plateau State in Nigeria's Middle Belt from Christmas Eve 2023 until December 30th. Many were buried in mass graves. An estimated 10,000 people were left displaced, and many left their villages in fear of more attacks. 1,500 homes were destroyed, 8 churches were burned down, leaving these communities traumatized. Reverend Gideon Dawel was serving as the district overseer of the Christ Apostolic Church and pastor of a local congregation in the village of Bong, which was attacked on Christmas Eve. And he explains the motive behind these horrific raids.
These people, they have their reasons of targeting Christians. I look at it in two perspectives. One, these people they are pursuing land grabbing. They need land. They want to grab this community. They want to own the place. They want to take charge of the place. Two, because they are religious fanatics. You know, they believe when they kill Christians, they are doing the work of they are worshiping their God. That's what they say. So they did that because of these two purposes. And that's why they are targeting Christians.
Gideon told me how the Christians in his village were getting ready for the Christmas Eve service around 7.
We keep watch outside. So I went outside at least a kilometer away from my house. So of which it was getting darker, not knowing that these Fulani people are coming for the attack. So they came silently. When they arrived, this environment now, they're now enchanted. Allahu Akbar. They begin shooting rapidly. So I can't go back home. I thought my wife ran with the children.
Unfortunately, Gideon's wife Hannah and their daughter stayed in the house and locked the doors, praying that the terrorists wouldn't be able to get inside. That decision proved to be devastating.
So they could not get inside. They tried to get inside the room. They couldn't, so they just bulldozed the window, set the house ablaze. Now they are bound inside the house.
Gideon returned to his destroyed village on Christmas morning after the terrorists left, leaving a wave of death and destruction. He rushed to his badly damaged house and would make a horrific discovery.
One of my cousins entered. He now discovered that he saw bones inside. And he is cool. He came out of the house, he fainted. Another one entered, he came out, he fainted. And I said, what is happening? I entered. I now discovered that I saw them in one place. I thought they were praying until they died there because they were in one place. So I was unconscious. They carried me from there to hospital. I don't know where I was. From that hospital, they took me to just here.
After being released from the hospital a few days later, Gideon went to stay with his sister. I can't imagine the loss you've suffered. Your wife, your 5 daughters. How have you been able to just get up in the morning and continue to live your life?
When this thing happened to me, when I can remember the first pastors that came to me, I told them that there's no God. Yes, I told them there's no God. I said, number 2, I regretted being a pastor. Yes, I say God is a wicked person because he said he knows the plan that he has for us. So is this the plan? I don't trust him again. It's better I could have not been a Christian, talk less of being a pastor. No, I don't like it. At least you could have left 1 for me or 2 for me. At least everybody. Then how? Let's trust such a God. How? He knows the plan that he has for me, and is this the plan? No. So when pain was becoming pain, I said so.
One of the Christian leaders to console Gideon was Mark Lipto of Stephanus Foundation, a ministry to persecuted Christians in Nigeria. Mark met with Gideon a week after he lost his entire family.
The best I can be is to bring hope. When it happened to Pastor Gideon, I was privileged to be there, and I put my hands around him. What that meant to him at that time, I can't say. Greg, is a difficult part of this work. When it's happened to someone, you just can't say anything. You just can be. If being around him gives him some comfort, that's what I want to be.
When people leave me, I'll just be walking around, like a mad person, praying, walking. I don't know what I'm doing. I cannot eat because I will feel I'm satisfied. Everything around me was traumatized. That was what the situation was. But now I thank God because I so much believe people are praying for me. People are still praying for me.
Gideon is committed to the healing process in dealing with the trauma, but knows it will take time. He has family, friends, and ministries like Stephanus Foundation, a partner ministry of the Voice of the Martyrs Canada, to walk with him. Gideon has also been encouraged by Nangpak Kuzwam. Nangpak lost his mother, father, and 2 siblings in a 2002 attack, also on a Plateau state village, but found hope after losing so much.
He is able to see Nangpak, who has gone through it for 22 years. And he's beginning to ask what happened to him. When he gets his own story, he gets to understand us. We're on the same track. So it's a ground to learn from.
When we talk about forgiveness, it's difficult at any time. But considering what you've lost, your wife, your 5 daughters, how have you been able to forgive?
Humanly speaking, you cannot forgive. Especially, let's assume they show me the person that born my family. It will be difficult for me to forgive him. Rather, I would like to take revenge. But you can see, as a born-again Christian, as a Christian, Jesus said we should forgive. Because that is the only character of Christian, to forgive. There's nothing that is too big to be forgiven. There's nothing that is too small to be forgiven. For me, I have forgiven them. I am not even that only, because I want God to show himself to them. I want God to show himself to them. Forgiveness is real. From a born-again Christian, I need to forgive. And I have forgiven them from the depth of my heart.
In light of all that you have been through, all the loss, all the pain, is God still good?
God is excellently good. He's a perfect God. He does what he likes. We are like pots in the hand of a potter. He can break it and do whatever he likes to us. He's still God. He's still faithful God. Yes, without him, I could have not been here. So what he did is in his will. What happened to my children is in his will. Everything I saw is in his will. Everything that happened is in his will. Yes. I look at it now, God has his reasons for keeping me as a remnant, I think, for the gospel. For the gospel.
This 2015 photo is the only one that Gideon has left of his family after his house was burned down. But he carries the memory of his wife in his heart.
We were in the same church together. We worship in the same church, Christ Apostolic Church. We were in the choir. She sang in the choir, the music. I picked interest on her because of her dedication to things of God. So I was brought up in a pastor's house too. So I look at her from that perspective. We ran together. So now we are falling in love with her. Very, very good daughters. 5 of them.
Tell me about them.
Yeah. What I would say about them, they are my children. We raised them up. The first daughter was in College of Health. If she would have been alive, she could have been graduating. She will be graduating now. And the second daughter got admission at ATBU Bauchi to study nursing. After these 2 ones, the other ones were small, we were nursery school. We interact with them when they are home. As how far the parents love their children. So they are good to me. They are very good children to me. In fact, this were my joy.
Does having an eternal perspective, has that become more real to you since losing your wife and your 5 daughters? Because the hope that you will see them again?
Yeah. As the scripture implies, someday I will see them. Someday I will see them in the presence of God. But humanly, it's painful. But in the spiritual realm, it's awesome. God knows why. So I have a belief I will see them based on scriptures. I can see them someday. Someday.